Next on the news, your chance to meet the new priests. He could be bringing his experiences inside the kitchen and around the Diocese of Brooklyn to a parish near you.
Food has been a source of comfort for Deacon Robert Ruggiero since childhood, and now he's hoping to nurture the souls of the faithful. I'm Katie Vasquez, and I'll have his story coming up.
A Queens Catholic dad is helping other fathers get closer to their kids by giving them books unlike any others out there. Plus, Brooklyn's Bishop Robert Brennan saying thank you to deacons around the diocese during a mass celebrating their service. I'm Christine Persichetti. Currents News starts right now.
There was something holding me back, and it wasn't until I made that consecration to St. Joseph that just opened the pathway.
This soon-to-be priest knows it's never too late to follow your dreams. He's the oldest in his ordination class, but says his timing couldn't be better. Deacon Robert Ruggiero joins 6 other men who will bring their various talents and experiences to serve in the Diocese of Brooklyn. And leading up to their ordination on June 28th, we're introducing them to you. In tonight's installment of Meet the Priest, Currents News' Katie Vasquez tells us Deacon Robert's story, which brings us to his kitchen in Marine Park.
The kitchen has always been a sanctuary for Deacon Robert Ruggiero, a passion that grew from those he loved.
From early on, I was kind of surrounded by people who loved cooking.
Creating dishes like cataplana that blended his Italian and Portuguese background.
This particular dish would be made by my mother.
Growing up in Carroll Gardens, he remembers spending time with family after Sunday Mass at Sacred Heart St. Stephen's.
Got to celebrate together the Holy Eucharist and being around the Lord's table, and then coming together as a family to be around our own table with one another.
Deacon Robert's call to the priesthood started at a young age, but he admits he wasn't ready to listen yet. He spent years working as a layperson in the Diocese of Brooklyn.
No, Robert, it's, the countdown is here.
Father Thomas Doyle, the pastor at Good Shepherd Church, encouraged him to follow his vocation.
He was always determined to be a part of the church and to be part of something greater.
At 55 years old, Deacon Robert is the oldest of the transitional deacons that will be ordained to the priesthood. But he knows the timing was perfect.
But there was something holding me back, and it wasn't until I made that consecration to St. Joseph that just opened the pathway.
And Deacon Robert hopes to use his life experience to help the faithful.
We need to be spiritual fathers. We need to be spiritual physicians, and we need to bring healing.
Deacon Robert says he won't be hanging up his serving spoon anytime soon. He's merely devoting his time to feeding those hungry for the Lord. In Marine Park, Katie Vasquez, Currents News.
And just a reminder, Deacon Robert Ruggiero and 6 other transitional deacons will be ordained in the Diocese of Brooklyn on Saturday, June 28th at the Co-Cathedral of St. Joseph in Prospect Heights. And you can be a part of it. Just tune into Net TV to watch the ordination live. It begins at 11 a.m. You can also read more about Deacon Robert in this week's tablet. The paper teaches you more about the New York native, including those many ways he's served in the Diocese of Brooklyn Pre-Seminary that Katie talked about in her piece. The paper also gives you the latest on New York's assisted suicide bill, which passed the state Senate on Monday night. Also in the paper, a special section for this year's class of 2025 dedicated to the graduates of the 15 Catholic high schools in Brooklyn and Queens. You can see the students who have distinguished themselves not just in the classroom, but through their leadership and community involvement. So be sure to pick up the paper at your local church. You can also support the tablet and Catholic journalism by becoming a member. You can do so by going online to thetablet.org/become-a-member. It was a heartfelt reunion for some former Catholic students and their beloved first grade teacher out in Glendale, Queens. The St. Pancras class of 1961 has been having reunions for about 20 years. But this year, the roughly 30 graduates were joined by a special guest, their first grade teacher, Sister Teresa McComb, who is alive and doing incredibly well at 98 years old. The former class got together for lunch where they reminisced about the good old days with Sister Teresa. This Friday on Currents News, we're winding back the clock, looking at this amazing year in Catholic education as summer quickly approaches. See how students in academies across Brooklyn and Queens are outperforming their public school peers, plus how kids are making the grade outside the classroom. Just tune in this Friday at 7 p.m. for the Currents News School Year in Review special. That's this Friday, June 13th, right here on Net TV. Also this weekend, kids around the country will be honoring their dads for Father's Day. A gift you could give some of the newer dads out there comes from a Queens parishioner who decided to put his memories with his kids on the page, creating stories that can help bring other families closer during bedtime reading. Currents News' Katie Vasquez has his story from Whitestone.
Cousin Trisha drew those pictures of you guys.
These days, Michael Schul doesn't read to his teenage children, Nate and Emma, as much. But that's how his career as an author started. When Nate was born, Michael would read to him at night, but found a lot of the books became stale.
And there I am holding a 6-month-old in my arms and thinking, this baby's not listening to me.
While attending a Boston College reunion in 2007, inspiration struck.
I'll get a book about Boston College, I'll read that to this kid every night, and it'll be fantastic. It'll be something that Daddy wants to read to my son. And I went to the bookstore, and there was nothing there.
So he decided to write his own and penned My Daddy Loves Boston College Football.
I thought there was a market for a book about things that me as a dad wanted to do with my kids.
Michael didn't stop there. He now has 7 books, 6 of which celebrate a different college football team, and one story about the Bronx Zoo.
I included my kids in the book then to try to kind of keep them a part of the story.
Despite the different settings, one theme remained the same.
I really wanted to write things that dads wanted to read to their kids. Hey, here we go.
His 2 kids now say the books hold fond memories, both on and off the page.
I appreciate going to the football games. It was fun for me, and it was a good time to spend with my dad.
I remember that my dad would read it to us with me, my brother, and my mom, and he showed us that we were all like a character in the book, so it helped me relate more because I can't really relate to football.
Giving dads everywhere that chance to create a special bond.
I was just hoping that this would be a little bit extra incentive for the reading part of it and for the dad to get involved in that aspect of their child's upbringing.
In the future, the American Martyrs parishioner hopes to write more children's books, as well as stories about faith. In Whitestone, Katie Vasquez, Currents News.
You can buy all 7 of his works on Michael's website, readtogetherbooks.com. Bishop Robert Brennan recently celebrated the deacons of the Diocese of Brooklyn. More than 50 deacons gathered at St. Ephraim in Dyker Heights to celebrate a Mass with their bishop for the Feast of St. Ephraim, who's the patron saint of deacons. Bishop Brennan acknowledged their service to the diocese, thanking them for walking among the faithful and bringing them closer to Christ. Bishop Brennan also blessed those gathered with a relic of St. Ephraim, and we thank all of the deacons as well. Before we go, a quick programming note. Currents News is taking a break the week of the 4th of July, but don't worry, there's still lots of great programming. Just some of the highlights. We take a look at Pope Leo's journey from Chicago to Rome. Plus, as schools let out across the Diocese of Brooklyn, we are celebrating Catholic education. And a deep dive into the soon-to-be first millennial saint, Blessed Carlo Acutis. We'll be back on Monday, July 7th. That is this Currents News Update. I'm Christine Persichetti. Thank you for joining us because we are putting your faith in the news. Hope to see you again next time.
The tide is coming in and school is out. It's been a long year of learning. Now Currents News is looking back, reflecting on how a Catholic education shapes students.
I think my school is good. It have good study and have a good friend. They have good lunch, so I like here.
Their teachers equip them with tools to thrive.
I love how he pushes us, and even when we fall or do something wrong, he just keeps pushing us to do right and right again.
So these kids feel ready to tackle any challenge.
I know to not take life for granted and just be thankful.
It's more than just schoolwork. It's family, friends, and a foundation for life. We're looking back on it all. The Currents News School Year in Review airs Friday at 7.